and wonderfuls we've had this week. Wonderful. Western Michigan versus Eastern Michigan. It's a battle of Michigan. Amani Bates, 2 of his 17. They win it. Eagles improve to 7-21. You got to one game at a time. Weird. Number 16, Xavier. And Villanova. Sule Boom drains it from half court.
Wow.
Nova wins this one by 1. Knocks off. I don't like Xavier in March. I do not. They are vulnerable come March. Wonderful. Kent State, Ball State. Chris Payton with the jam. Good slam dunk there. Not enough,
Tawny?
The Cardinals won this game, even though that was a good slam dunk. Weird Champions League, Liverpool. This was great. This Real Madrid. Screwed it up. Mo Salah's like, this is going to be the easiest goal I've scored in my entire life. Liverpool up 2-0, and then guess what happens?
They lose 5-2.
Real Madrid comes roaring back. They win 5-2. Luca loved it. He tweeted about it. Also, Joel Embiid, big Real Madrid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's my team, too.
Well, I know. You grew up in Madrid.
No.
Raising Luca.
Wonderful. Number 10, Marquette. At number 19, Creighton. This is the first points of the game. Got it. Not enough, though. Marquette won by 2.
Thanks, Wild.
Well, not enough.
Best of the week? Really? I don't know, man. It might be the opposite.
There was just some layups that were just a regular old layup from DePaul. As the Aaron Rodgers drama drags on, eyes turn to Jordan Love. Matt Schneidman of The Athletic noting that there's a chance that Jordan Love requests a trade.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. If Rodgers stays around, the question is, Nick, should he do it?
Of course he should.
Please, and hold on, I'm not done reading the script here that I wrote.
My bad.
Asterisk, please remind Nick he's not allowed to bring up the point that Jordan Love should have played in those last 4 games.
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you.
Okay,
like
it's 5 games, and I won't. That's
I like
fine.
that.
Don't worry about that.
Good.
Jordan Love's been in this league 3 years. 82 guys, 78 guys, pardon me, have thrown more passes than him in these 3 years, including Josh Johnson, Tim Boyle, Jake Luton, Zappum, who only played 2.5 games, Trace McSorley. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years and barely played, and what happened in year 4? He played all 16. If you're a highly sought-after candidate for any job where a lot of companies would pay you to come in and work, and a company brings you in and it's like, okay, listen, we love you. We love you enough that we actually moved up to come get you. We're going to need you to be patient, but you are the heir apparent, and now you are going on potentially the entirety of your contract without being put to work. You absolutely should ask to go somewhere else. I think Aaron would have. And I'm not saying talent-wise, but we didn't know what Aaron was then. It's not fair to him. So if they're not going to play him, then they need to trade him to someone who will. You can't hold the player hostage.
Well, you list that who's who of quarterbacks that you listed that had more passes.
Yeah.
How'd it work out for those guys? Pretty good?
No, there you go, Coach.
So he's got another year. He can sit behind Aaron Rodgers. He makes $3 million this year. He's got $20 million the next year. Okay?
If they pick up the option.
Okay, they're going to pick up the option. So he's going to have that $20 million. And then what you've got in place is you've got the team that drafted you, which has the most interest in making you work. And there's a difference. When you get traded or when you leave and go to a different team, the new team doesn't have the same bond as the team that drafted you. So he's going to have the most benefit of the doubt in Green Bay. So he's going to want that opportunity to be realized in Green Bay.
I'm with Coach on this. First of all, look, they're not fair to him. I mean, they're paying him millions of dollars. He's on the team. We drafted you. It's not about fairness. It's about can you get on the field. Now, I got to say this. Bob McGinn, the reporter who said that they're done and disgusted with Aaron Rodgers, he also said, for what it's worth, if Rodgers insists on coming back to Green Bay, that they will start Jordan Love. Now, that's hard to fathom.
What?
But that was in that report. I imagine Rodgers and the team would agree where he doesn't have to be there, right? But even so, even if they bring back Rodgers and he starts, I don't think Jordan Love should demand a trade because of what Coach said. But also, Nick, Jordan, first of all, is Jordan Love that highly sought after? That's what you. But hold on, let me finish. He now knows Matt LaFleur's system. That's going to be the best chance of him playing well in that system, not going elsewhere. So I think even if he sits behind Rodgers one more year, his best chance of being successful will be in Green Bay. So he should stay.
Go ahead, Wallace.
Oh, you go.
Guys, you are asking Jordan, like he's under contract, take the money, do what the team wants. You are asking him to act the way we ask all NFL players, all pro athletes to act, not the way someone who literally no one in the history of the sport will have been asked to do this. We have never had a quarterback drafted in the first round that goes 4 years without getting a chance to play. It is not that he has not won the job. He has not been allowed to compete for the job. It is not that he was given 5 weeks.
He's not
Wait a
beating
second.
Aaron
The guy
Rodgers
ahead
for
of
the
him had
job.
2 years of being the MVP.
That's great. I understand.
It's like compete. Okay, he was going to be better than
No,
that.
of course. Which is why he should demand a trade. It is not his fault.
How do people don't even know if he can play?
Right. I get it.
How much are the Packers getting for him?
That is the Packers' fault. At some point, the player must take care of himself. He was drafted. Other teams wanted him. They traded up to get him. They have put him on ice like a great bottle of wine, as if these aren't prime years.
You act like he's sitting behind a nobody.
No, I am not hot dogging. I am not blaming the Packers for. Yes, I do think they should have played him at the end of the year, but set that aside. Set that aside.
There was an asterisk.
Set that aside. I am not blaming the Packers for rolling with Aaron Rodgers. But if when Fox hired me, they were like, hey, you're going to take over for Colin. We think he's going to do 1 or 2 more years. And Colin's the greatest ever. And 3.5 years in, Colin's like signed a new contract. And I went to him like, hey, guys, can you let me out of my deal and let me try to go pursue my dreams? And they're like, no, we're paying you. Sit there. I wouldn't have right to be like, this is ridiculous.
No, you would have every right to say that, but you're under contract. And unfortunately, that's the way it works.
Demand trades.
Playing in the NFL
Guys
is
demand
not a
trades
privilege.
when they have leverage. He has 0 leverage. What's he going to do? Sit out?
And you can't just say, Nick, just because he's a first-round pick. So is Zach Wilson.
He got a chance.
Yeah, and he was
Josh
horrible.
Rosen got a chance. I am not saying I think Jordan Love's good. I'm saying we have had 600 quarterbacks drafted in the first round in NFL history. None have been asked to do what this kid's being asked to do if they ask him to sit a 4th year.
Ridiculous.
None.
Ridiculous.
What is ridiculous?
Just because where you're drafted doesn't mean you have a right to play.
Of
you gotta
course it
earn
does.
No, it doesn't.
No, you do have a right to get a chance to get on the field. Unless
How?
you show you can't play. Because every first-round pick does.
Maybe he's shown he can't play.
No, it's because the guy was an MVP. This is crazy. It's crazy. 103 years of the
No
NFL.
way he should ask
No
to
one's
be
been
traded.
asked to do what they're asking him to do. If they ask him to do it for a 4th year, they should say, okay, we made a bad pick. We owe it to this person to give him a chance to pursue his career goals.
Stop.
What are we talking about?
They're paying the
He's
dude
gonna have a
millions of dollars. They
chance.
don't owe him.
Do we
They
want
owe him
athletes to only care about the money, or do we want them to actually love the
It's
sport?
a job.
I understand.
It is a job. It's how you take care of your family.
Right. Yes. And for him to be able to actually take care of generations of his family, at some point he's going to have
He'll
to
get
play.
his chance
So what do you want him to do? You want him to ask and go to the Panthers?
and be horrible.
It's obvious. I want, if the Packers won't play him, to trade him to someone who will.
But to who?
You don't even know
Colts?
if anybody will play him.
So, okay, in a league where we saw Sam Ehlinger was starting games this year, Jordan Love would have a chance to get on the field for a dozen teams. If they're not going to give him a chance to play, they have an obligation to trade him to someone who will.
They don't have an obligation to do what's in the best
Right.
interest of the organization.
Okay.
It's not like
what's
they're-
in the
he's
best
doing it
interest of
for
the
free.
organization.
Okay, so you
I
can
think
all
he's-
right. Just draft a guy and squat on his rights for no reason. Just do it. We're paying you. You don't get to play. You don't get to compete. You don't get a chance. That's fine. It's a ridiculous
He
standard.
gets to compete.
You just said he doesn't get to compete.
He's
We
been
just said
competing
it.
against the 2-time MVP.
Well-
and maybe a first ballot Hall of Famer, a little different than the last quarterback.
Should have beaten the Chiefs when he got the chance.
Yes,
You would have been in a
That would
tough
have been-
spot.
I don't know Jordan Love. I don't even know if he's good. It's so obviously
No,
unfair.
you're a Jordan Love guy in a major
Unfair.
way.
It's so obviously
I'm getting a
unfair.
Patrick Mahomes
tattoo.
won, Jordan Love too. That's you from
It's
now
so
on.
obviously
Coming up
unfair.
next, Bronny, all of a sudden a lottery pick. Next, first things first.
Moving on up.